Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. Today I am going to be addressing a question by not addressing a question because I've already addressed this question, so I'm going to address a different question. And the question is, will coding become obsolete? You can check out the video that I did basically answering this question of like computers are going to take over our jobs for programmers here, but I'm going to talk about something a little bit different here, which I think is a bit of a different spin on this. But before I do have to tell you about Hired.com. And why do I have to tell you about Hired.com? Well, actually I get to tell you because they have sponsored Simple Programmer and I like them and they like me, I think. I'm not sure, but maybe I can make them some money. Nah, I'm just kidding. Maybe I can get you a job though. That's what I'm about. So that's one of the reasons why I took on Hired.com as a sponsor, also so I can pay my employees who like to have money as well. So it works for everyone. But anyway, they're awesome, okay? The reason why is because instead of you applying for all these jobs all over the place and dealing with all these HRs and different formats to put your resume in, you fill out one application. You just go to Hired.com/simpleprogrammer. The reason why you want to do that is because you get $2,000 instead of $1,000 if they get you a job, which is always cool. And you just go there, you fill the application, and then companies will come and they will come and they will query you instead of you going out there. It makes sense to me. It makes sense. It's like the future of the job market. This model makes a lot more sense. Okay, my Pomodoro just said it's time to start it up. All right, because that's what we do when we're being efficient. We work with our Pomodoros. So anyway, go check them out. Hired.com/simpleprogrammer. And let me know what you think. Anyway, let's talk about, I like to say anyway as a transition word, will coding become obsolete? And let's not talk about that. So this question is from Alex, and he says, hi, my name is Alex. That's what Alex says. And I graduated from undergrad in 2014. I've been working since, and I am quite comfortable at my current job as an IT assistant manager. However, I know that this is not where I want to be in the long term, as the job is quite repetitive, boring, and unfulfilling. As a result, I've been looking into a career change, such as one in coding. I finished a JavaScript course on Code Academy and even took one of the free courses from Hack Reactor. Coding is challenging, but satisfying at the same time, especially when you solve an issue. However, I'm having a hard time picturing myself coding for the next 30 to 40 years, which brings me to my question. Should I go back to school for my master's or attend trade school for a skill that will be sought after and won't become obsolete in the near future, such as financial engineering? Okay, I've read and watched a lot of motivational videos, and all of them give this one piece of advice. Take risks when you're young if you don't want to live a mediocre life filled with regrets. I know if I don't do something about my future, I'll regret it. So, there's a few other things here, but I don't think it influences my answer to this question. So I'm not going to address the question of whether or not coding will become obsolete. Like I said, I've already addressed that with that video. But what I am going to address, some of you are right now thinking, that's so rude that he took a drink. Like some guy was like telling me, you're so rude because you wore your hat backward. Come on, dude. Like, you're watching a free video and I'm so rude. All right. Anyway, what I want to talk about is more of the concept of, okay, first of all, like, yeah, you're probably not going to be coding for the next 30 to 40 years. I mean, in 30 years, can you imagine how the world is going to change? I don't even know what coding will look like in that time frame. I mean, our technology, our world is changing so rapidly right now that we can't even, I mean, if you ask me, will coding become obsolete in 10 years, I can answer that question. I can give you some guesses and stuff, or even 20. But if you talk 30, 40 years, I don't even know. I don't even know what kind of crazy stuff. I mean, think about like virtual reality and all, like, it's crazy stuff, right? So let's not even think about that. But let's talk about this core idea of, which I think is, there's two things here. One, the taking risk when you're young, which I totally agree with. And two, like, everything is going to become obsolete. Whatever you think you know, including financial engineering, that's not your thing. I mean, Bitcoin, have you heard of that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that whole thing is changing. What if we go into a one world government and it's all digital currency? Like, the way that money works is going to change. It will. It's been changing. Light second transfers of money and trading and all this stuff, like, it's changing. It's definitely changing. So there's no security. And that's the thing is, so let's take these two ideas. Take risk when you're young, and there's no security. There's no security because whatever you think you know, whatever you learn, it's not going to be enough. It's going to change over time. You got to keep on learning. You got to keep on growing. But take these risks when do something with your life, right? This is the thing. It's like, yeah, take a risk. Take a smart risk, right? Have a very low downside potential. Don't do things that could totally wipe you out. Do things that have a high upside, right, and a low downside. I think I did this video on taking disproportionate risk, where do things with upsides, right? This is probably what the video was. Anyway, that's what you need to do, okay? And along with that, it doesn't mean you need to necessarily get traditional education, but you need to be growing and learning, right? If you want to do what you're saying here, develop some entrepreneurial skills, develop some business skills, start building a business on the side, start preparing yourself. The more areas that you have of expertise, the more things you've done in your life, the more flexible and versatile you are, the more that you can learn things and adapt in your life, the better it's going to be, right? You want to build your life, build yourself, right, in such a way that someone drops you off in a jungle with a knife and you can survive. I'm using an analogy here, but what I mean is that whatever the current business environment, whatever the current technological environment is in, you might not be an expert, you might not know it, but you can be like, oh, okay, there's a tree, there's a root, I can eat this root. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna kill this bear with my knife. And I'm going to suck his blood out. I don't know why I'm saying that. But you got to be able to adapt, right? And that's the skill that you need to have. So become multidisciplinary. Become a Renaissance man, a polymath to some degree. I mean, definitely specialize. Definitely, I'm not saying to not do that, but have more than one area. Okay, don't just assume I'm going to switch and become a programmer and I hope it's around for the next 30 or 40 years, because there's nothing that you're going to switch to that's going to be around in the same way for the next 30 to 40 years. It's going to change. It's probably not going to exist at all at some point, especially 30 to 40 years. Or it's going to be so drastically different that you cannot prepare for it today. Don't try and prepare for things that are so far in the future today by learning, by gaining knowledge. Gain wisdom instead, gain experience, gain adaptability, make yourself stronger, develop personal characteristics and traits that will carry you forward, like self-discipline, right? Courage, things like that will help you no matter what. Basically, what I'm saying is this. Click the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel, because that's all the stuff that I'm trying to teach and share with you. Honestly, that's it. That's why I'm making this channel, honestly, so that you can be prepared for your life and you don't live an average freaking life like everyone else, and you don't have to be mediocre. And I'm just trying to give you the playbook to do it. So click the subscribe button. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.